Hello and welcome to Talking Good Game. It's just finished. Hull City 2, West Ham 1. Is this it? Are we now in a relegation battle? We're going to talk about the game. We're going to talk about what's going wrong. We're going to talk about our manager again. We're going to answer the first question. Are we in a relegation battle? While we get into it, make sure you hit the subscribe button while we're here. It's just down there. Hit subscribe and stay tuned to the channel. Bilic made a few surprise choices to his starting 11 and then Font decided to get booked after 80 seconds by just a ridiculous challenge. Gonzo, 18 minutes, we made it 1-0. What was your thoughts on the goal? Creswell, long ball to Carroll, brought it down on his chest side, food it, 1-0 West Ham.
Yeah, Lanzini involved at the start, who was our player with technique today and many other days, of course. Yeah, as you say, put it out to Creswell. He swung it in, managed to get... he made the central defender. I think he was pulling off this, wide, and then he cut in. He managed to give himself a lot of space. Don't know what that central defender was doing. So he actually had quite a lot of time to take it down, and it seemed to almost happen in slow motion. Everyone knew what he was going to do, and he popped it in, and it was happy days, as you say. It was early. What was it? 18 minutes into the game, and we thought, here we go. I actually typed something on the forum, said, yeah, that's it. Nice early goal. We'll win this today. There you go.
Charlie, were you impressed with the goal? I mean, that's a sort of a side to Andy Carroll we've seen improving this season, haven't we? That sort of close control.
Yeah, and I wasn't too happy with how we were playing, but then the ball from Cresswell was pretty much bang on. He hit it early, surprised the defenders. One of them, the one closest to Carroll, maybe should have done a bit better, but he was at full stretch, couldn't get there. And Carroll, like Gonzo said, I mean, his control made it so he had literally all the time in the world. Took it down, took his place, bang, goal. Really good actually.
It was a half of very few chances. Snodgrass had a decent chance at a header at the back post after a lovely cross by Faguli. Randall caused us all a heart attack by trying to do a solo, a bit Adrian-esque. Then it went in 1-0 at half-time. Charlie, what were you thinking at half-time?
That it wasn't good enough. I felt like we were kind of average to just below average, and they were poor. I felt like if we carried on in that sense, it wasn't going to be enough. It was enough up until that point, but I felt like they would have come out swinging in the second half, and that sort of came to pass. We didn't up our game, and they did.
Gonzo, what were you thinking at half-time? I mean, we were 1-0 up, but is this the type of game you were expecting? A game of very few chances, a game of nerves, if you like, from both teams?
Well, I wrote down, because we know we're going to do these shows, I write down notes. I'll tell you what I thought at half-time. Lack of pace is what I wrote down. So I thought that was quite evident in the team that we were lacking a little bit. I thought it was... I like the fact that he played Lanzini in the central midfield. I thought it was a brave decision. The easy decision was to bring Noble back. So I liked that. I thought Lanzini was playing well. As I say, I thought there was a bit of a lack of pace going on, but I was starting to get a bit frustrated with Snodgrass, and I was sort of wondering if Ayew was playing. I kept having to pinch myself to remind myself that Ayew was playing, even though he'd sort of been given a more central role. He didn't seem to be involved very much. Did not expect it to swing in the way it did, though, for the second half.
At half-time, I thought it was effective. We weren't looking good, but our keeper had very little to do. We were sort of keeping them at bay a little bit. But my worry was they were keeping us at bay at the other end. Yes, we'd scored, but it'd come from a 40-yard long ball into the box. And it was sort of, you only get one of them a game. You only get one time where the defender misjudges it completely and the striker gets in. We took it. And I thought, well, we're not going to get that opportunity again in the second half. We needed to see more. And is this, Gonzo, is this where Bilic just fell down a little bit? Because Hull made a change at halftime, and it was arguably a match-winning change. Took off their captain, their centre-back, off you come. On went on that Polish guy, how do you say his name, Grosicki or something, set up the equalizer. Was that goal coming, Gonzo? I mean, they started very brightly in that second half.
Was the goal coming? They did. They came out like an absolute steam train. He's been very proactive, that manager, though, just generally since he's been there. I didn't really think of this until later in the game, but when after we conceded that goal and it was a draw, it's almost as if Bilic would have taken a draw, and that was reflective that he only did the Kaleri substitution on the 93rd minute. Obviously, we're jumping forward. We're going to discuss everything in between. But the very fact that he thought, oh, we're now losing, I'll make an attacking substitution, sort of said everything, really, for me. The goal was well, first of all, I thought we've brought the wrong Scotsman here because Robertson scored. I thought Snodgrass was poor, very poor today, apart from at the end when he did, just before he went off, had a very good cross. And you thought, that's why we bought you, mate. That's why we brought you in. But I thought the goal was very, very avoidable. I thought Cresswell could have dealt with it. Collins, not so much. Collins, because it sort of bypassed him. Then I thought Byram could have dealt with it. But I think Font thought Byram was going to deal with it. And that's why Font was on his way forward. And I thought he was quick-footed. There's no way he thought it was going to come through. And then, yeah, it was a good goal. It was coming, though. It was coming. I'm sorry to say. It was like the Alamo, that second half.
Charlie, your thoughts on the goal? I mean, Gonzo, you've missed out the one player I'd pick up, which is Figuli. That's Figuli's man. Robertson's left back is Figuli's man. Now, if Figuli can't get out to him, fair enough. But you sort of it's your responsibility to make sure everyone else is covering your arse if you can't get back. But Robertson's ran the whole half. No one's needed him until he's literally on the edge of our 18-yarder. Then there's about 4 people run to the ball. And it's Sunday League defending again.
No, listen, sorry, I know you're just going to go to Charlie. I mean, look, Figuli and Byram down that right side is poor. I mean, I've taken pelters the last few weeks for saying Byram shouldn't be out. Well, obviously he's got to be a right back at the moment, but I'm saying he won't be a right back long term. I just don't think he's good enough, and I'll stick by that. But that right side of Figuli and Byram is very, very poor. And no, but I totally agree. He did run all that, but there were 2 other occasions to stop that goal from happening before it even got to him, and that's well, it went along the back 4, and I just thought, oh come on, it was a weak goal. It was a weak goal to concede.
Well, let's move on, and we'll leave that Hull goal for now. Charlie, Hull didn't stop there. I mean, they kept coming at us, did they? I mean, they had Byram pass to that Ndai who hit the post, who was man of the match for the first time we played them. And then Gosiski got the rebound, if you like, went very close. I mean, they were looking dangerous, Charlie. But was it because of Hull or was it because of West Ham?
Probably a bit of both. It was a bit like us against Leicester, how we just completely dominated them in the second half. We couldn't string anything together. No one seemed to be able to complete a pass. No one seemed to be making any significant movements. It seemed to be every time we got the ball back, the only out ball seemed to be just lumping it up the pitch, which their centre-backs or full-backs would roundly collect and then just go again. It was a really long slog, and something that with players on the pitch shouldn't be happening. We have players who are better than that on the pitch. I said in the preview that, you know, Hull are a team playing better than some of their parts. Well, we're playing worse than some of our parts. Everyone collectively together is better than that, and yet seemingly we can't do anything, whether it be play simple passes or create chances at the other end. We just aren't a team who are working as a unit at all.
Fernandez come on for Snodgrass and Masuaku come on for Cresswell, who went off injured, and then bang! You could almost sense it coming. Going, they got the winner. I don't know how you pronounce the guy's name, Ronica. It's a simple thing. Those set piece, corner, the front post, free header, 2-1. And the worst thing is, when it went 2-1, I actually thought this is game over. We're not going to equalise from this.
No, well, as I say, there was a reaction very late from Bilic in terms of the substitutions. We were sitting back at that point. The goal, I think the commentator, I had a terrible commentator, by the way, didn't know the rules of the game, but he said that it's only the second headed goal from a set play or something that Hull have scored this season, or some stat like that, which pretty much says it all. It was near post. I think it was Kiate's man, and then maybe sort of got blocked off a little bit towards the end, and he just got ahead of Kiate, got ahead of Byram, headed it in. And I think you're right. The momentum of the game had gone so far by that point that we weren't getting back into it, and we all got that feeling that you felt that there was no way back in. I think we all felt that. Even you should have a sense of, I don't know, a sense of anticipation that you're going to do something when they put 6 minutes on the board. You should be thinking 6 minutes, that's great, we can really do something. But it never really was on the cards, was it? It's so typical, and it's so West Ham to lose away to Hull City. It really is. It's like last season was just some dream or something, and now we're just right back to normal.
The thing is, Charlie, do you agree with what Gonzo was saying there? I mean, the game was finished 2-1, obviously, but where's it gone wrong for you, Charlie?
We just don't look like a team who know each other. We look slower than we should be. We can't string passes together anywhere near as good as we should be. Hull were stringing passes together in the final third we could only dream of. They were doing flicks and tricks and everything. And I'm looking at it and thinking, this is a team in the bottom, this team in the relegation zone, and we're a team who are meant to be pushing on and trying and competing for Europa League places or whatever. And we have players who have competed in the Champions League up front, and they have people who I've never even heard of, like Klukas. I haven't even heard of them until before this season, and yet they're flicking and tricking around the back, whereas we get to the final third and look completely and utterly lost. And then you go out to the other end, the defence, and they look completely and utterly lost. We don't look like they know each other. You've got players coming across each other. Both goals, you can look at people and go, all right, why are you moving there? Why aren't you picking up this person here? Why aren't you doing this? Why aren't you doing that? There seems to be just basic errors all the way up the pitch that for some reason last season were non-existent, and yet this season have all appeared at once. And I can't for the life of me figure out why a group of players who are as good as they are can't play together like a team who have been knowing each other for what, 7 months or whatever it is at this point. It's ridiculous. Everything, we can look at individual players and say, oh, Faguli didn't do this, Chiari didn't do that, whoever, but everyone has just completely and utterly disappeared. Everyone has capitulated inwards on each other.
I think Bilic picked an attacking lineup today. I do. But I think he picked the wrong bloody players in the attacking positions. And the worst thing is, right, Mark Noble said 2 weeks ago now, there's a small minority of fans that don't understand football. Correct. I agree with that. However, the majority of West Ham United fans wanted Masuaku left back. The majority, actually, I'd say about 90% of lineups I've seen in the build-up, but people saying what they want to see. Everyone had Fernandes in their team somewhere, whether it was right wing, centre mid, attacking mid, whatever. Fernandes was in there somewhere for everyone's team. The majority of people had Chiari centre back with Fonte. These are the majority of West Ham fans. And I think the attack, when I saw this lineup, I thought, well, that's attacking. But then once the game started and I saw Faguli and Snodgrass trying to cross the ball, I thought, well, you know what? You can have the most attacking team ever, but you've got those two as your wide players. We had one game plan today, cross the ball. And we had about 3 or 4 good crosses. Gonzo, you were right. Snodgrass did put in a lovely cross. Who was on the end of it? Flipping Faguli. I don't think I've seen a header in my life. Yeah, so why is he the guy that's on the end of our crosses? It's just, I don't know, just frustrating because the wrong left back started the game. We looked good when the subs came on, but one of the subs was forced on him. That was Masuaku for Creswell. Masuaku's probably one of our best bloody players. He was only on the pitch for 25 minutes or something. He produced more than Faguli, Snodgrass, Creswell, Chiari. He produced more than all them. He wasn't even on the pitch for that long. But Gonzo, where's it gone wrong for you? I mean, are we in a relegation battle now?
I'll answer that in a second. When Charlie speaks next, I'll click on the Premier League. I've not looked at any other results. I don't run and buy me. I'll just look at the league. But where's it going wrong? I just thought we lacked pace and we lacked technique, and there's a reason why Masuaku looked good when he came on, because he had both. I felt that Lanzini needed a friend. I don't mean someone put their arm around him, but someone who he could lend the ball to and then get it back. We just seemed devoid of any sort of technique, any cohesion. I think you're right. I think it was an attacking team. I said I thought it was brave to drop Noble. I like seeing Lanzini in the middle. I really do. But when I look at those players, and you picked out 2 there in Snodgrass and Faguli, I kept on thinking the same thing. Average, just bang average. Really, really ordinary. No craft, no guile, no nothing. And I kept on thinking, I thought it 3 or 4 times, because I saw a stat a couple of days ago that Dimitri Payet is still up there in chances created in the Premier League this season. Not for last season, this season. And I just look at what we've done with that money. And if that's what we've done, and we've spent 10 million on Font and 12 million on Snodgrass or whatever, if Snodgrass is on 60 grand a week for the next 5 years, 4 years, I don't know. I just think, oh my goodness, we really have done some bang average dealings. I think it's easy to jump on the manager. I don't know. Somebody popped up on Twitter a picture of Roberto Mancini. Well, if you think that's going to be any better, forget it, because he's the most boring manager who plays defensive football there is out there, and he needs a pot of money, so don't expect him to come in and do anything. And I don't think we should be looking at the manager's position. He needs to the end of the season to get it right. But today, I thought just the players were not good enough, and it's as simple as that.
See, that's quite funny, actually, because I've been very pro Bilic. I've been a very big Bilic fan, but today he's got to take a large part of that blame. His lineup was wrong from the start. He got about one thing right, and that was making Carroll captain. That's probably the only thing he got right. The rest of it, and it's just the Hull manager made a change at halftime. Hull manager thought, well, this isn't working. The first half's not working. I'm going to change it, and he changed it, and they looked a lot better. We had to wait till halfway into the second half. When the changes come, we started looking a bit better. But the problem was we stuck with plan A, which was get it wide and cross it. And plan A wasn't working for the first hour. You all of a sudden think Hull are just going to stop heading the ball at centre back. Go, for the next half hour, let's just let West Ham's plan A work. That's not going to happen. You need a plan B. And yes, Lanzini worked centre mid, but I think as soon as we were drawing even, he should have been put further forward. Instead of creating at the halfway, get creating at the edge of 18-yarder, because we're struggling here a bit. I thought we were struggling. Hull were pinned back at one point, but they weren't pinned back through our play. They were pinned back because they thought, let's all sit back, because all they're going to do is knock it out wide and cross it, and then we'll break. And the amount of times I've seen James Collins get overtook by their striker, and Collins had about 10 yards on him when the ball come over. I thought, Christ. At one point, I thought it was a red card away to happen when he sort of brushed legs together. I thought Collins was ready to wipe him out and stuff. I just thought, this is not good. It's not good. Charlie, what about you? Is this relegation battle time now, Charlie? We're 6 points ahead of Hull. Wednesday night, we're away to Arsenal. Hull are at home to Middlesbrough. If they win, they're 3 points behind us, and we then play Swansea.
I'm still not convinced we're in a relegation fight just because there's so many bad teams below us. But I'm just more concerned. I don't care about relegation at this point, but I'm more concerned about the fact that we don't seem like a team who are capable of getting a point for the rest of the season. And I'm not talking about the running. I'm just talking about in general. We look at people like Snodgrass and Faguli or Fonte or whatever, and we say, oh, we wasted the money. Yeah, but where's everyone else gone? Cheika Kiate I can see it in my head, did 3 things today, and 2 of them were arguably led to goals. And it's like, I've never rated him, as you know, but other people, let's just go with the majority here, think he was great, think he was fantastic for the last 2 seasons before that. So where's he gone? Where's Cresswell gone? Where's everyone gone? Even Randolph today's rolling up and doing dribbles like everyone complained about Adrian. It's like, where has everyone in this team gone? I look at it and I look at the players on the pitch and I say, okay, who is actually pulling their weight as opposed to who isn't? Who is actually Lanzini, maybe Carroll? Outside of that, you're struggling. You start to struggle to say who is actually pulling their weight. And that's what's concerning me. I'm not concerned about relegation because I genuinely think there are more teams worse than us in this division that will definitely go down.
Charlie, can I push you on that? Because I'm looking at the league table now, right?
Go on.
Okay, just those words that you said. West Ham, 33 points. Burnley, 32. Palace, 31. Swansea, 27. Then Hull, 27. Middlesbrough and Sunderland are gone, right? 22 and 20 points. So out of Hull, Swansea, Crystal Palace and Burnley, one of those has to be worse than us. Who do you think it is at the moment?
This is what I'm trying to say. All of those teams are worse than us, right? But my worry is, and I think this is the thing, it will take all of them pulling all of their weight together for the last however many games of the season left in order to all go above us, in order for us to drop. That's why I'm not afraid. But what I am afraid of is the fact that this team together don't seem to be able to do a single thing right. And that is hugely concerning because it's been that way for the entire season. We've seen glimmers of goodness. We've not seen glimmers of crap. We've seen glimmers of them playing all right here and there. And even the games where when we shot up the table earlier on in the season, even those games, they were lucky 1-0 wins against Hull with a penalty here and an Andy Carroll goal there. And it was like, they weren't even convincing then. And that's what's worrying me. I'm not concerned about relegation, but I'm concerned that our team is just a capitulated mess of just, I don't even know what.
Not concerned about relegation, bloody hell, Charlie. I'm quite positive, but I'm starting to worry about relegation now. That team I saw today against Hull is a team that looks destined for relegation. You're right. It is going to take Palace and all that to pull together. It's a big fight for them to get above us. But that's what they're doing. They're fighting, Charlie. Mm-hmm. We're not fighting out on that pitch today. The problem is the one guy that would have broke his leg on that pitch was sitting on the bench. Now, whether he's not fit or whether that was Bilic's choice, but as soon as it was drawn and they were getting the better of us, he should have been the first player on that pitch. He should have had his arm around and said, Mark, You've had your critics, etc. Go on that pitch and get stuck in. Did we even pick up a yellow card today apart from Andy Carroll? I don't even know. And I know Fonte in the first 80 seconds, but that was just a stupid one.
Yeah.
Point is, where are these challenges? Where is people putting their heart on the line? If someone's taking the piss out, you're playing better than you. You go through them. Take a booking for the team. Show some desire. We're not showing that. You know, the fastest I've seen Snodgrass move today is when he got subbed off and he legged off the pitch to get away from the boost. The fastest I've seen him shift all game, and that was to get off the pitch. There was 2 players out there today that comes away with any positives for me, and we've mentioned them, Lanzini and Carroll. They're the only 2 players that look like I wouldn't say Lanzini looked like he gave a crap, but Lanzini is just special on the ball. Carroll looked like he gave a crap. That keeper went up for the ball. Carroll had no chance of getting it, right? What does he do? I'm going to run into him and I'm going to knock him out onto that deck so he's hurt. That's what Carroll does. Christ almighty. Paguli, that can't even be arse going and getting the ball when it goes out for a throw in. They just stand there looking around. Gonzo almost sums it up. Snodgrass on 60 grand a week. Why will he graft at West Ham United? He's cushy now. He's settled for the rest of his career. He's on a 5-year deal, 60 grand a week, etc. It's embarrassing today, actually. That effort those players put in today is embarrassing. It's an insult for those West Ham fans that travelled up there. And at the end of the game, we could all hear them singing, "We're fucking shit," and they're right. But the thing is, it's just right. Gonzo, let's start wrapping this thing up a bit. I mean, I'm gonna get a bit angry if we keep talking. But what's your final thoughts on it? What has to change? I mean, we've got a game on Wednesday night. So we don't have a week on this. We've got 2 or 3 days, and then we're going to the Emirates.
Well, yeah, okay. Let's expect the worst at the Emirates, which is fair enough. We all laugh at Arsenal, but they've every chance of beating us at their place. It's the game after that, which is Swansea. So where we're going to be, Swansea have still got a game in hand. So Swansea are on 27 points. If they win their game in hand, they're then on 30 points. They're 3 points behind us. If Swansea beat us at our place in a week's time, then they're level with us. And then there's no more doubting the trouble that we're in. As you said, Palace have turned it round. It's happening now. Burnley have steadily picked up points at home for most of the season. All right, they lost to Tottenham today, but I don't know. Where do we go from here? I think we've just got to...
Well, the Championship, we're not bloody careful.
Well, I mean, I was just... The thing is, you said about the fans, there's going to be some angry fan cams today. Let's be fair. There's going to be some angry ones. There's going to be people laughing at West Ham Fan TV in the way they laugh at Arsenal Fan TV because we're going to be reacting. And you can understand why the fans are going to be angry because it has actually got to the point where I thought as soon as it happened, season ticket, I've renewed my season ticket, and it's not an issue for me because I support West Ham whether we play Arsenal or Peterborough. We're going, and it's fine, and we go and support them. But I just thought, wow, the board did a bit of a good move there, getting so many people to renew when really at the time it looked like we were very, very safe. But as I say, lose to Arsenal and then lose to Swansea, or even lose to Arsenal and draw against Swansea, then there is by no certainty that we're guaranteed to be in the Premier League next season. And with that in mind, you think about things like that, and I've almost like had life sucked out of me. I've not even got the passion or the energy to be angry. I was just an insipid, average performance with no fight, no skill, and no pace. And as you say, 2 players coming out with credit. Those are my thoughts on today.
Charlie, same question. What's your final thoughts on the game?
We got beat by Hull. I mean, we can call it average as an insult, but it's worse than that. We got beat by Hull, and we went into it knowing how good his home record is or whatever. But the fact of the matter remains, we got beat by Hull, and they should have beaten us at our place as well. It sums up the season perfectly when a team who are in the relegation zone, maybe they should have got more points than they did or whatever, but the team that are in the relegation zone have made us look bad both occasions. We are higher up the table than we should be. I think, you talk about graft and whatever, we shouldn't need to be worrying about that. our team should be better than that to be worrying against putting in graft against teams like that. And like you said, that first half, it felt like it was enough, but not good enough. And then the second half was just lackadaisical, lethargic, boring, poor. We're just poor. We've been poor all season, and it doesn't look like it's going to pick up anytime soon.
I think we're only. I still think if we win, if we can somehow win either Arsenal or against Swansea, I think we're safe. I think we're just one win away from safety, if you like. But the problem is, before we played Leicester, I remember doing the preview. I remember saying, Bilic wins games he needs to win. He needs to win against Leicester. We'll win. We were 2-0 down after 6 minutes and we lost 3-2. So for this game, we did the preview. All three of us said, we'll probably win. We need a win. We'll battle. We'll get our sleeves rolled up. We'll battle. We'll get the win. We've not won. We've lost. We've lost against Leicester and Hull. You know, these are the teams we were beating in the first half of the season. I know we didn't beat Leicester, but we beat Hull in the first half of the season. We beat Swansea in the first half of the season. And it's getting a little bit worrying now. Bilic's just got a big job on his hands to pick these players up, because as much as they didn't graft and they didn't look like they cared in the pitch, they're going to be upset in that change rooms, etc., etc. Bilic's has got a very big job on his hands now to motivate these players and get their chins up and go again against Arsenal, because we're all angry. We can all rant about it. The fan cans will rant at it, rightly so. The players can't. The players don't have time to do that. There's no cooling off period after this game. They go again tomorrow in training because they've got a massive game on Wednesday now. Because when you look at our fixtures, we've only got one team left that's a dead rubber. That's Stoke. The rest are fighting for something. Swansea fighting at the bottom. We've got Liverpool and Spurs and Everton at our place. They're all fighting near the top end of the table. We go to Sunderland. They'll probably be gone by then. But the point is, these teams have all got something to play for. Stoke's the only team that's got nothing to play for, and that's worrying. You just look at the other teams around us. Swansea playing Middlesbrough. I think Burnley's next game is home to Middlesbrough. Now we're assuming Middlesbrough's the whipping boys, if you like. But those are surely 3 points for the home teams, and it's getting worrying. Bilic's got a big job to do. He's got to go back to his board. He's got to look. I don't mean the board, his tactical board, and he's got to change something, because literally just getting the ball wide and crossing it did not work in the first minute today. It wasn't working. It worked once. That's when Creswell crossed it from 40 yards out. It wasn't down the side the 18-yarder, which Snodgrass and Paguli was doing. And it's worrying. We've now got a big game on our hands. Charlie, is there anything you'd like to add? Very final last word. Any players that come out with positives except Lanzini and Carroll, or anyone in particular that you thought was really crap, really disappointed you today?
I think it's really easy to blame individual people, whether it be the board or Bilic or flipping Fonte or whoever. It's really easy to blame individual people, but the fact remains that no one is pulling their weight. Apart from like the two we've mentioned, no one is pulling their weight in that team. From the top to the board, all the way to the bottom to a random substitute player, no one is pulling their weight in that team, and that is a problem, because without that, what's the point?
Gonzo?
Not today, mate. I'm sorry. I've had enough. We'll have a cup of tea in a week. We'll do a preview. I can't even be bothered to talk about it anymore. I'm gutted, actually. Really disappointed.
Yeah, I'm just getting a bit pissed off, actually, at what we just witnessed from some of those players out there, and it's getting a bit worrying. And you know, I looked at our bench, half an hour to go, draw, and I thought, we need to win this. Who can you bring on? Fletcher, Caleri, Mark Noble. But these players aren't going to win us the game. You know, you could probably put Noble on, move Lanzini forward, but those guys, there's no one on the bench. I thought, he'll win us the game. He can go on and do something, and that's a worry. Hull today took on a player that changed the game for them and won them the game, that Polish Grzycki guy. We didn't have one of them on our bench. That's worrying. Hopefully Antonio will be back for Arsenal, though. Christ, we need him. But anyway, make sure you hit the subscribe button to our channel. We've got another video coming out tomorrow, and then we've got the preview for Arsenal, a big game on Arsenal. Let us know your thoughts on the game down below, and also come onto our forum at Hammers Chat. Involved. I'm sure there's going to be a lot of discussion and angry people on there tonight, so come along and have a chat. But thank you very much for joining us, and it's squeaky bum time for West Ham. Let us know, are we in a relegation battle? Let us know down below. Thank you for watching.